Hello, you're listening to Overwhelm is Optional. Hello, in this episode, I'm asking you the question, how much are you judging yourself? That might feel like a really weird question. It's inspired by, a lot of the people who have come to my classes and workshops, but also one of my most recent coaching clients who I think she was only in the first week of my course, and she said to me, I had no idea how much I was judging myself. No idea how much I was judging myself. And the immense freedom that she felt from just realising that. So I've been really thinking about this. We learn so much, don't we, from teaching others, from discussing our ideas and our findings. And yeah, I learned so much from my work. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm really grateful for the people I've been working with in the last few weeks. So I just wanted to share those ideas and things that came to me with you to help you. So I'm just going to pause by asking you for a moment just to check in with yourself, as these podcasts are all about reducing overwhelm through mindfulness of the body and the observations that gives you, the freedom that gives you. So a very powerful method for lots of reasons, but mainly it creates kindness and space for you to start to find your way out of overwhelm. Because the mind can't really find its way out of overwhelm. That is the nature of overwhelm, isn't it? Is that clogged thinking. Even when you're achieving your goals and achieving really highly, it's an effort. It's a real forcing. It's like thinking through concrete. And it can be incredibly difficult, even with lots of knowledge and being really, really good at what I call secretly surfing the verge of breakdown, that pushing through the overwhelm, through the exhaustion, through the stress, and just keeping on going. It can still just be incredibly hard to make good decisions. Whereas dropping into the body gives us information, I believe, and I have found, which is key to finding our way out of overwhelm, finding the easier way, finding your path, doing things your way, a way that's unique for you, that honours who you are, your energies, your way of thinking and creating and being in the world at your absolute best. So yeah, let's just do a short episode that really highlights for you how much you're judging yourself. Let's just tune into the body and just notice how you're feeling. And I'm going to teach you step one of my technique, because this is where these observations are coming from immediately. So the client I've just spoken to you about, lovely, amazing woman, she just did the neutral noticing, which I'm about to teach you, and then a week at the end of the week reported, I cannot believe how much I was judging myself, and this had a huge impact on her. So let's just do that with you. Let's do this just for you. So whatever you're doing at the moment, if you're driving, obviously you can't do this because you're taking your awareness internally, and when you're driving you need to have really good external awareness. But otherwise, I'm just inviting you to pause for a moment in your day. Now, this is easiest if you don't have distractions around you, but it's not always possible to find that kind of space. So I would urge you to just do it. And then if you can do it again and practice it without the distractions, that's great, but it's just not always possible. So it's better to do it than not do it. So just, if you can, closing your eyes. If you can't, keeping your eyes open, obviously. But if it's possible, stopping doing what you're doing. Because it's easier. Don't make it so hard on yourself. So just moving all of your attention from the external, from the busyness around you, and also from the busyness of your mind. So your mind's going to keep pulling at you, and all of the stuff around you is going to pull at you, which is why it's worth making it easier by switching off phone notifications, telling the people in your house that you just need a couple of minutes to yourself, if possible. Not always possible. Honour that, but be aware of that. So just taking all of your awareness into your feet and really feeling your feet on the ground, feeling connected to the earth, knowing that you have feet, that you're in a body. And just getting curious about your feet, because that's really helpful, because it can be difficult to anchor your awareness anywhere. So getting curious about your feet. So a way to do this is to place all of your awareness in one foot. Let's do the left foot first. And you can even put a little bit more weight, not lots. This isn't some kind of crazy balancing circus act, but just placing a little bit more awareness, maybe pushing into your left foot a bit to really anchor the awareness of your awareness, so that your attention, which is grabbed by everybody wants your attention. Purposely place your attention in your left foot. Push your left foot a little bit more into the ground or whatever you're on. And then move your attention into your right foot and purposely put a little bit more pressure in your right foot. So you're anchoring your attention with physical sensations in your body. And you can do this while still being aware of the chaos around you and the stormy chaos in your mind, because most of our minds are pretty busy, hey? So just be aware that your attention is going to get pulled by whatever's going on around you and by your mind. And you might have already noticed that your mind is getting judgy. So when I said to you, how much do you judge yourself? If already you think you failed, is that not a judgment? And is that not a little bit harsh? Because all you're doing is practicing mindfulness of the body by placing your awareness in your feet. And this is neither difficult or easy. This is just a practice. So if already you've given up because your mind has told you you're rubbish, or you can't do it at the moment because it's too difficult, or it's not important, you're not important, this kind of radical self-care is not applicable to you, or maybe you've judged me, maybe you've judged my method, maybe, I don't know, anything. But if you've tried it and given up, then my point is, was that a judgment? Because this episode is not about practicing the moving your attention into your feet. This episode is about how often do you judge yourself, because an awareness of how much you judge yourself is very powerful. It spreads out into other parts of your life. It opens the doors to deep self-acceptance, and self-acceptance is freedom. So, should we do it again? Feel your feet on the ground. Feel connected to the earth. You are an important, essential part of the universe. You are connected to the earth. Even if you're up in a, I don't know, however high building, you can still feel the ground. You can feel your floor of your flat. And you can even imagine roots going down through all the floors into the earth. Or you can imagine how close you are to the ground compared to the clouds. You are still connected to the earth. You are on the earth. You are definitely here. And you are important and unique. And we need you. So, just allowing that feeling of attention in your feet, that connection to the ground, your space, however small and squidged that space is at the moment, it is your space. So feel your feet on the ground. And then move your awareness to your belly. Make sure your knees aren't locked. Just allow your belly to soften if it wishes to. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Just notice that. Notice tightness or softening or any physical sensations in the belly. And each time your mind hijacks your attention, or one of your kids hijacks your attention, or phone notifications, or a helicopter going over above. We've had a lot of those here. Whatever hijacks your attention, just purposely place your attention back into your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the centre of your being, your belly. Just notice how you are. And then if you want to, you can allow your shoulders to come away from your ears, if they want to. And if they don't, that's okay. But notice what happened when I said allow your belly to soften, allow yourself to feel connected to the earth, allow your shoulders to come away from the ears. Because there's nothing in that that's telling you have to do something. You're just noticing and allowing if that's what the body wants to do, which is deeply respectful of your body, of yourself. But there's no forcing and pushing, there's no achieving. There's always or not. Notice if your belly doesn't want to soften. Notice if it's really hard for you to feel connected to the ground. Notice if your space feels squished. Notice if your shoulders are really close to your ears. Just notice, completely neutrally. Don't try to achieve anything. You spend all the time trying to achieve, trying to strive, trying to be better, a better person. I don't know, or fight, or not even trying. Maybe you've given up trying to be better. Maybe you're just judging yourself harshly and giving up trying. But whatever, just don't push. Just notice. Just notice what's going on for you in this moment. Notice how you feel. And then notice any judgment that comes into that. So the kind of judgments we get when we get into our body is we start to notice all the things that we consider are wrong with our bodies or with our minds. So a really common thing that happens when we do this mindfulness of the body practice is, I'm no good at this. I can't do this. This is for other people. And I would argue that you're wrong. And the reason you're wrong is that state of deep connection is a natural human state that we have lost because we spend too much time in our head, and that connection to our body is essential and it's there for you all the time, but it does take practice. And yeah, and my method of doing it might not be for you. That's fine. I don't have any judgment over that. You do what's right for you. That's really important to me. It's about finding what's right for you. But that state of connection to your body, because you are your body, you live in your body, so being connected to your body, honouring how your body feels and not judging that is so powerful. Such a good way to get out of overwhelm. So just tuning in and getting out of your head helps with the overwhelm, but this deeper layer, this noticing how you're doing that, how you're noticing your body, how much you're judging yourself, and awareness of that is another layer of power for you. It's a radical act to notice how much you're judging yourself. So just for a moment, becoming aware, how much have you now noticed that your body is too tired, too achy, has an injury, is not flexible enough, even though I haven't asked you to do any yoga. Just notice that. Did you find that it felt like one foot was, I don't know, inferior to the other foot? I mean, I often do this and think, actually for several weeks I've been noticing that it feels like my left foot is less connected to the ground than my right foot. And I'm not judging that. I'm catching that judgment, that comparing. And I'm just curious about it. Because that's what I bring in next. So there's this neutral noticing, and then there's this curiosity. But what's really interesting is the client that I'm talking about, and other clients that I work with, students in classes and things, just the neutral noticing was enough to drop the judgment. The second layer of the step 2 of my technique, which is bringing in this curiosity, is on purpose, because you can't be curious and judgmental at the same time. Curiosity is a playful thing. Ooh, that's interesting. But I just want to stay actually with the neutral noticing, because I think that it's simpler, it's faster, it's easier, and I'm all for easier. So just the neutrality of the noticing. So that is when you start to notice, am I noticing neutrally, or am I judging? Am I labelling? Am I, so when I said to you, feel your feet on the ground, feel connected to the earth, what happened? And then I think probably the belly one's really, and the shoulder one's really interesting. So allow your belly to soften. My belly doesn't want to soften. Oh my God, why can't I relax? I can never relax. I'm too tight. Oh no, there's something wrong with my belly. Bellies are really, really interesting. Well, I find them really interesting. So the sensations in bellies are really interesting for lots of reasons. And first of all, that's where we digest. And so many of us are eating stuff that makes us feel absolutely crap. But we carry on eating the things that make us feel crap because we tend to do so with a lack of awareness. So I know, for example, I can't eat gluten because it makes me feel terrible. And the stopping of eating gluten was huge for me. And I'm really grateful for all the people who helped me on that journey, who did the research and put it out there. For example, Chris Kresser is an amazing functional medicine guy in America, and that's where I got a lot of my information. So I'm really grateful for that. But I know a lot of people who they have very similar effects, maybe milder effects. They eat gluten and their belly feels terrible, and then they keep eating the gluten. Now that's obviously none of my business, that's their choice, but I just find this really interesting that first of all, I went for years eating gluten and having, irritable bowel and pain in my gut and a swollen belly and all of this and other horrible symptoms, and I didn't connect it. I mean, I didn't necessarily know because I thought it was probably carbohydrates as opposed to gluten. So that's why I'm so grateful for people like Chris Kresser. But it's more than that. It's like, so for years I ate cream teas. Actually, for years I didn't eat. This is weird as well. For years I didn't eat cream teas because it made me feel, but just like the idea of it, I just thought it was yuck. It just made me feel ill thinking about it. I thought that the idea of putting cream on top of a scone and jam just looked hideous to me, which is hilarious because now I just think it now looks delicious. So I didn't eat them. And then one day somebody introduced me to them and said, I don't know, somebody persuaded me to eat them. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. This is why people, walk for miles and go, oh, and then we're going to have a cream tea when we go to the West Country. But actually, and although I actually really enjoyed lots of amazing cream teas, they always made me feel really ill. So I find that interesting that it's almost like my body could sense it was going to make me feel nauseous. So I didn't eat them. And then I found they were delicious and I ignored the thing my body already knew. And I did it for years. I just find it quite interesting. So bellies are interesting because most people you talk to will tell you there's something wrong with their belly. Most people. I don't know very many people who will say they have no digestive issues. So when I ask you to focus on your belly, there's usually quite a lot in there to judge, to find needs fixing. And I mean, there's also the fact that the belly is one of the emotional centers. It's like a processing. It's like it digests food and it digests emotions and experience. So often that's intertwined, isn't it? Because when we're upset, that can mess with our digestion. So often what happens is you can drop into your belly, which is the centre of your being, the centre of your balance point, if you're going to do any sort of movement from there, and find there's tons of stuff wrong. And then your mind can get involved with an entire list of things to do, which adds to your overwhelm and stuff to solve. So I think the belly is probably one of the easiest parts of your body to drop into to answer the question, how much are you judging yourself? But the shoulders are another one. And the reason for this is when I say take your awareness into your shoulders, people often become very quickly aware of everything that's wrong. Neck ache, stiffness, pain, one shoulder higher than the other, old injuries. It's very common that people have frozen shoulders, or some shoulders, lack of movement, and the mind just goes straight into judge, sort out. And then more overwhelm kicks in. And then if we move out of the body and we start to examine how often you judge yourself without judging your body, because most people are judging their bodies all day, should be thinner, fitter, bendier, different shape, just everything, digest better. It's just a million things we're constantly judging is wrong with our body. And then we treat our bodies terribly. We put them in office cubicles and expect them to sit motionless for 8 or 9 hours a day, or sometimes worse. And then we feed them rubbish, and we don't drink water when we're thirsty, and we don't sleep very well, and we don't have fun and play and move enough. And then we wonder why we're then judging our bodies. But there's also this layer of judgment on top of that, isn't there? So you can judge yourself as needing stuff fixed, but then there's like this judgment about the judgments. It's like, why have I not done anything about this? And why am I always so harsh on myself? Why do I judge myself? So you can get into like another level of it. And then you can probably find there's several layers above and below that. So the point is, the mind is very good at judging and nagging. And often, I think we're tempted to get into an argument with the mind, but that adds another layer of judgment. So instead, what I've found really, really helpful, and what has been working for the people that I work with, is just bringing a deep awareness of just how much you are judging yourself. Because the awareness in itself, oh my God, I judge myself a lot, all day long. And just sitting with that, things start to shift. It's like one of those aha moments. Oh my God, why am I not on my own side? It's so harsh to judge yourself. And yeah, we could get into the whole we judge everything, but let's not get into the judgment of other people and the rest of it. Let's just talk about nourishing you and what you need. So it is really helpful to drop into the body and practice neutral noticing, and just notice without judgment. Because first of all, you're going to find out how you are, and how you are matters. So, becoming aware of where you're holding tension is often enough for that tension to start to shift. Or becoming aware that maybe you've been sitting too long and you need to move, or becoming aware that you're thirsty and you haven't had a drink, or, bringing a more awareness to you and how you are and what your needs are is important. But also just the neutral noticing and dropping the judgment. So just bringing this real neutral observer in is super helpful. And it sprinkles out. It's like it radiates out into other parts of your life, almost imperceptibly. So I invite you to practice neutral noticing, to find out how you are, but mainly to just start to realise how much you are judging yourself and how much that is contributing to getting stuck in a state of overwhelm.